Have the results from qualifying, and here we go. We do have the grid on screen. So Paul Massell will line up on pole position with Nick Bridgman alongside 3 and 68 on row 1. It's then Steve Whiteleg and Jack Parker on row 2, 94 and 4. Row 3 of the grid is made up of Will Gibson and Eric Bolton, 1 and 62, followed then by Nick Price and Ollie Schlupp, car number 34 and car number 9. Apologies, I missed the rest. Robert Barrable will line up in 13th place ahead of Stephen Traherne. Then it is going to be Daniel Pooley and Owen Lawler, followed by Mark Beattie and Ben Mahoney. Then it is going to be Chris Needham and Harry Massell, who's going to be looking to carve his way through the order. Tyler Reid and Andy Bird line up 21st and 22nd. Then it's going to be Leonard Woodcock and Luke Simmons. And on the very final rows of the grid, it's Aidan Hills and Graham Butler. I hadn't spotted Aidan Hills on the entry list, indeed. Mike Schlupp is on the very final row of the grid, but Aidan Hills runs Hills Motorsport, if that is the same name, might I add. But with Paul Massell on pole position, he's got the clearest view of turn 1, and of course we've not mentioned it, the rain continues to fall, the track gets wetter, the introduction of spray is a thing, and in cars without a windscreen that can become an issue.
Certainly can. The cars are now on track, all 27 of them making their way out of the pit lane and making their way down towards the Shell's hairpin for this out lap, readiness for the race.
So the safety car leading the field. Of course, we will be on a rolling start for this one, especially in these conditions. He will be wanting a rolling start, but wet or dry, the Legends cars have that rolling start. Makes it slightly easier on the mechanicals. The car that we saw in the wall, unfortunately, I think that is in qualifying, it says car number 600. I didn't have an amended entry list for this one at all, so I'll have to try and pick out exactly who that would be, but that was one of the cars we saw in the wall. We also saw Matt Knight in the gravel trap in qualifying, and I haven't spotted him there. You'll have to keep an eye out for Matt Knight, car number 22, if he's down near you.
Yeah, I shall keep an eye out for car 22. The whole field come past. Not noticed car 22 come past, so maybe he's still in the pits. I'm not sure.
He's going to be doing a pit lane start by the looks of it, along with car number 600.
So 26 of the 27 cars are now making their way from Knickerbrook towards the starting straight. Even on their green flag lap, they're already in different clusters, interestingly.
Yeah, there's 2 green flag laps, so there's no major rush for them to get sort of into their relative positions, but obviously sooner rather than later. I've had a very lovely message off Richard John Neal, who's a fellow commentator. You often hear him on ITV4 covering the support races for the British Touring Car Championship, and has done a lot with Legends, I might add as well. And yes, it is Aidan Hills that runs Hills Motorsport and has had quite substantial success in Mazda racing. His dad used to race Legends as well quite some time ago, so a massive thank you, Richard, for that information. Car number 600, I don't have a name. I can tell you we're going to have to go first name and surname of guest driver, because that is the guest driver car. Who exactly it is, I don't know. Matt Knight, as we mentioned, is going to be starting in the pit lane, but the field, I see what you mean, being in different clusters. Now we're on the final green flag lap. They really need to sort of close in and really catch up, but 600 is the guest car with that new experimental 3-cylinder engine, as Richard John has just informed me, but neither me nor him nor yourself know exactly who that is. I'll run down at lunchtime to speak to the Legends Cars Championship to figure out exactly who it is. This is when they tell me they've got 3 different drivers in for 3 different races. Very, very sideways out of the Shell Oil's hairpin were a couple of the cars, clearly that desperate just to get some temperature into that rear axle, which is going to be rather useful because that being the powered axle in a very short wheelbase light car, you need to make sure it's going to grip.
Absolutely, in these conditions, grips everything as the field now head towards the Britain chicane. All 27 cars powered by a 1250cc Yamaha motorbike engine. So they are now weaving, or half the field are weaving at least. Desperate to try to put some heat into those tyres, try and get some grip, as now there really is no dry line on this track at all. We've only had a couple of minutes of no racing, but there's already no dry line, so that will soon emerge, but it does mean that the first lap could be very lively indeed. I'd imagine as the full field now, they do seem to have all caught up. There's no clusters now. The 25 of the 27 cars that are circulating are all fairly well bunched up, and the first 20 or so are in a 2x2 formation going through Druids, heading back towards Lodge and back into your view.
They will appear into my view in a few moments' time. It's good to see Mark Beattie has got out there. That car found itself in the gravel at Old Hall Corner, pardon me. Earlier on in qualifying, he managed to dig it out with the aid of marshals, so it's good to see that he's got that car ready. Great to hear from Richard John Neal. He has just reminded me Miles Rudman was that experimental car driver earlier on in the year. Whether he's still behind the wheel, we don't know, but it is going to be Paul Marcel on pole position, the inside of row number 1. Alongside him will be the number 68 of Nick Bridgman. Nick was the car that was very, very sideways indeed at the early stages of this second green flag lap, but the safety car lights have been extinguished. That car will peel its way off towards the right hand side and will be able to go Legends Car Championship racing for the first time here at Oulton Park today. Keep an eye on the car of Paul Marcel. If he can get this start right, he will have the ideal line in towards turn 1, the unpolished line, the wet line. The lights go out and it's a good reaction from everybody on that front row, and even better reaction from the cars further back. Car number 94, Steve Whiteleg, dives his way up the inside, later on the brakes up towards the lead. He's going to have to weave it in between the curb and the grass of the cars around him, but somehow finds himself on the outside and into the lead of the race as they work their way down the avenue in towards Denton, back towards you.
Yeah, the whole field then making their way into Cascades for the first time. It's the 94 machine who has the lead, marginally over number 4. Then comes the 18 machine, and they are the leading trio, as the number 7 car is also in the top 4, and their leading 20 are very close together indeed. At this stage, the number 94 of Whiteleg, who leads the way from the 68 of Bridgman into Shellow's hairpin for the first time. Lots of spray, but the top 20 are pretty much nose to tail as they negotiate the hairpin for this first time.
Yeah, absolutely nose to tail, and it looked like that could have been the number 4 of Jack Parker that somehow managed to get the car flicked sideways and going forward all at the same time. If you're going sideways, you're not going forward, unless you're Jack Parker by the looks of it. All the way around the outside of Shellow's hairpin, he's thrust his way into the lead through and past Steve Whiteleg, who tries to fight back. Steve Whiteleg also has Nick Bridgman, just sat behind him. Unfortunately, dropping further and further down the order is Paul Marcel. He's not had the greatest start to his race, squirming left and right on the brakes is Steve Whiteleg in desperation to get that car slowed down, but Jack Parker in the lead of the race as they work their way through and past you.
Yes, so Jack Parker leads the way from Bridgman in second, and then the number 4 is in third position. Then we have Bridgman in 4th, and then Gibson is desperately trying to move a place up. He's in 6th at the moment as they go over Clay Hill for the first time, and there's lots of overtaking in the top 10, and then the rest of the field don't overtake through Knickerbocker this first time, but it's been very quiet and no instant free on this very wet lap.
Yeah, very, very wet indeed, and a few of the cars squirming as they work their way through Druids, but Nick Whiteleg into the lead of the race, and Jack Parker under big pressure now from Ollie Schlupp, who dives his way to the inside. He's managed to tick his way through and past Nick Bridgman. Can he keep it there on the exit? No. In eagerness to get on the power, the car kicks sideways, and that slows him down as they come towards the line. We're going to be almost 3, maybe 4 wide on the run in towards turn 1. It's going to be Jack Parker who has to settle for second place. Ollie Schlupp is trying to make it third. Nick Whiteleg is making first. Seemed like the safest place to be at the moment. Everybody else follows their way in towards turn 1, and we were 3-4 wide by the time we arrived at Old Hall Corner, but as they worked their way down the avenue, good luck in picking through that lot.
Yes, so Nick Whiteleg has the lead from the number 4 in second, then we have 68, the 9 is in 5th position ahead of 89 and 18 in 7th position ahead of the number 7, the 44, and they are the top 8 are neck and neck. Whiteleg has the lead, Parker tries to go up his inside, and Ollie Sharp is alongside the leading 2 as well, but Nick Whiteleg just has the lead into the Shadow's hairpin. It looks like Ollie Sharp is going to try to go around the outside, and then but he doesn't manage it, and still in second position is Parker, who keeps second and very much trying to move up in position is the blue car of Bridgman, who still sits in 4th position.
He does indeed, so as they pick their way through Britons once again, bouncing their way over the curb, we're keeping an eye on Robert Barrable at the moment, who is coming under pressure from Jamie Moylan. Behind Jamie Moylan, I think that's Will Gibson, who's tried to carve his way yet further up the order. Jack Barker is going to be on the outside by the time we arrive at the Hislop chicane. It's going to be Steve Whiteleg on the inside. No, position already made. Steve Whiteleg remains in the lead of this race as we work our way through Hislops, then through Knickerbrook. Keep an eye on Ollie Schlupp in third, he's on a mission as well.
Yeah, Jack Parker in second. Ollie Schlupp tries to go to the inside in the orange and blue machine, but Schlupp can't get through. Parker defends the move, and now the leader Whiteleg is being challenged at this demo by Parker up Clay Hill. So it is still Whiteleg from Parker and Schlupp, the top 3 neck and neck. Bridgman a slight gap to him in 4th position, and he's being challenged by 88, 18 and 1 machine for 4th position himself.
He has indeed, so through the double right-hander at Druids, underneath the Warwick Bridge, the woodland section of the circuit famed for being quite slippy under the trees, and now we're going to see the move for Jack Parker later on the brakes on the running towards Lodge Corner. He has to cross over the polished line, so he might struggle for a bit of mid-corner grip. He's got to be so tentative on the throttle, but a massive moment for Ollie Schlupp. Drives the car sideways off the final corner, and he could be good for the lead by the time we arrive at Old Hall Corner. So in towards turn 1, it's going to be Jack Parker, now ahead of Ollie Schlupp. Much later on the brakes, however, is Peter Barrable. He's now into what is going to be 3rd place, so Peter Barrable up into 3rd. Is that Steve Whiteleg now down into 4th place? It looks like it will be. And Jack Parker, he disappeared out of my sight in the lead. There's no guarantee he still will be by the time he gets to you.
Jack Parker seems to have kept the lead from Ollie Schlupp, who's still in second position as they head down Long Lake side. Ollie Schlupp keeps second position. Bridgman is trying to move into second position, but he thinks the better of it, seeing yellow flags, and sticks in 3rd position. So yellow flags shown at the Shadow's hairpin, but the leader continues to be Jack Parker. Ollie Schlupp very close in second position, being challenged all the time by the early leader Steve Whiteleg as they go through the Shadow's hairpin. It looks like the yellow flags have cleared up, and they are going to attempt to try and overtake each other once again. Hot on the heels of the Whiteleg at this time is Peter Barrable in 4th position.
Yeah, so rain lights have been sort of spoken to or spoken about in race control. They have to be turned on now. There's a few drivers which maybe still don't have them on, so race control have discussed that, and rain lights absolutely have to be on, declaring that this is effectively now a wet race. But in the lead of the race is still just about Jack Parker. If you're a Barrable, whether it be Robert or Peter, you're on a mission now, because you've got the number 88 of Peter Barrable in 3rd place. Robert Barrable is now in 4th. The pair of them have managed to work their way through and past Steve Whiteleg, but Jack Parker just about holding on to the lead from Ollie Schlupp past you.
Yeah, so Jack Parker from Ollie Schlupp, and then it is the Barrables in 3rd and 4th position. They're ahead of, in 5th position, the number 34 of Moylan, who overtook a few cars going down Hilltop, as the leaders are very close indeed. It is still the number 4 of Parker who leads the way from the number 9 of Ollie Schlupp. Then we have the number 19 and 18, the 2 Barrable cars, neck and neck for 3rd and 4th position. The next of the orange machines is in 5th position. That is the number 9 car, I think, and Whiteleg is in 6th position at this time.
He is indeed. Chris Needham last time through with the fastest lap of the race at 2 minute 20.893, but leaders back towards me. It is still going to be Jack Parker in the lead of this race. Ollie Schlupp applying all the pressure in all of the right places at the moment. Robert Barrable now up into 3rd place ahead of Peter Barrable. They've still got those cars behind continuing to apply that pressure. Down 3 places, however, is Steve Whiteleg. He was leading the race just a couple of laps ago. It's all come undone for him, but replacing him and working his way up through the order is going to be that number 44 car of Jamie Moylan. He's on a mission on the run through that section of circuit, and Will Gibson, he's still got the championship to worry about, and he's only down into 9th place. He's got a bit of work to do, hasn't he?
Yeah, Robert Barrable takes second position off Ollie Schlupp and tries to take the lead, but he's not quite so successful. So Robert Barrable has the lead, has her second position, and is challenging the leader, Jack Parker, for the lead. Jack Parker goes off of the Sherrill's hairpin to the leader. Jack Parker off, goes wide and loses at least 5 positions. Can he get back onto the black? So it looks like he might be able to. He's lost at least 6, 7, 8, maybe 12 positions, and he's back on. So the leader Jack Parker loses the lead, and Robert Barrable in number 18 takes the lead. Ollie Schlupp is in second position, and then we have Peter Barrable in number 88 in third. Bridgman is just behind those. Moylan in the 44 is also in the top 6 as they now merge once again over Hilltop, and our new leader at number 18, Robert Barrable, comes into Knickerbrook, and he's been overtaken by number 4 of Jack Parker. So Jack Parker takes the lead once more. Robert Barrable into second position, Moylan in the 44 into third. There is a gap emerging to fourth position. Then we have Peter Barrable in fifth, Whiteleg in sixth, Bridgman is currently in eighth in the blue machine, and they are the leading 8 going up into Druids.
Yeah, they are indeed. Unfortunately, we just had a quick glimpse there of Nathan Anthony's car in the barrier. He's out and walking away, which is great to see. And unfortunately for Ollie Schlupp, a few mistakes on the lap prior have dropped him away from the race lead, and that's Robert Barrable, another one of those top 5 that we were keeping an eye on, has fallen away. So into what is effectively the lead of the race. Is that Jack Parker back up there now?
Meanwhile, Paul Mossel came off at Knickerbrook, had a straight line Knickerbrook, so he's lost lots of positions in the green number 3 Ford Coupe.
So looking at it, it's Jack Parker in the lead of the race once again, so somehow he's managed to carve his way back up to the lead of the race. Last time through in 11th place, that was the number 30 machine of Andy Bird. He set the fastest lap of the race of a 2 minute 19.463, so it's going to be Jack Parker leading ahead of Peter Barrable, then the number 44, which we mentioned a few moments ago. That being Jamie Moylan, who's done a brilliant job to get to where he is on the circuit. Ollie Schlupp remains in 4th place, and his race continues to be plagued with a few small mistakes. Chris Needham, he had the fastest lap of the race a few laps ago. He's right the way up into 5th from 9th.
Yeah, and a real battle going on now for 6th position, so for 8th and 9th position, as the number 12 and 2 try and overtake Bridgman in the number 68 to move up into 8th position. I think the number 12 takes 8th position. The number 12 car driven by Stephen Trehame moves into 8th position, going into the Shallows hairpin. Parker still has the lead from Barrable in the blue and yellow machine, as they now come over Britons and hopefully over Hilltop very shortly.
Looking as well, Aidan Hills from the very back of the grid, up 15 places. Chris Needham up 14. We are really starting to see drivers carve their way through the order. The field is now flying its way over Hilltop and back towards you.
Yeah, Jack Parker has the lead then from Robert Barrable in the 68 blue machine, ahead of Moylan in the 44, and then the 9 of Ollie Schlupp is now in 4th position. Number 13 of Needham has made lots of progress that lap. Bridgman is into is in 6th position. Paul Bridgman is in about 10th position. He lost 3 places there. The number 94 car is being overtaken. Whiteleg's car is being overtaken there, and so Gibson moves into 6th, Whiteleg to move to 7th as they go into Druids, and must be back into your site now.
Yeah, back into my site in a few moments' time. We will see Jack Parker hopefully continuing to lead this race. The checkered flag is waiting for him, so the final lap of the race has been completed. The checkered flag is being readied, and the marshal awaits the arrival of our race leader. At least the timing screen on my side says 0. I thought we're going to 6 laps, a maximum of 15 minutes. Hence why I think we've just about squeezed another lap out of that one. It was 6 laps or 5 minutes, or 6 laps or 15 minutes. I thought we were going to the 15. We're going to make the 6 laps. So it is Jack Parker that continues to lead the way ahead of Peter Barrable. Then it will be the number 44 machine of Jamie Moylan. Chris Needham is sat there in 5th place, just behind Ollie Schlupp, up the road in 4th. Last time through, again another sterling lap from Andy Bird. He's on a mission now, up 14 places, up into 8th place.
Then he looks at either side of Whiteleg going down Lakeside. He looked to his right, he looked to his left. It doesn't look like he's going to get past though, as Paul Mussel once again out to straight line Knickerbrook only a few moments ago. As the leaders head into Shellall's hairpin, it looks like Jack Parker is going to keep the lead on the final lap, but they have half a lap to run. Anything could happen. Robert Barrable is in second. Then in third position is Moylan in the 44 ahead of the next orange car of Ollie Schlupp. And then Needham, who's on a mission in the number 13, continues to be in fifth position ahead of Gibson. And then Bird and Whiteleg are neck and neck for sixth place.
They are indeed, and Ollie Schlupp, he's clearly not content with fourth place, very, very sideways on the run in towards Lakeside, so and Island Bend, so he's clearly pushing on, but back past G for the final time goes Jack Parker. They'll pick their way through Knickerbrook and then up Clay Hill. It will be Peter Barrable still giving chase, who's built up quite a nice margin between himself and that number 44 machine in the hands of Jamie Moylan. Jamie Moylan is being hunted down by Ollie Schlupp. There's still Chris Needham a little bit further down the road, and then of course we've got that number one machine of Will Gibson. He wants to secure that championship this weekend, and he's doing everything he can to give himself the best opportunity to do so. But underneath the Warwick Bridge and towards Lodge Corner for the final time will come Jack Parker. The first race of the day for the Legends Cars Championship with a random grid will go the way of Jack Parker as he picks his way through the final corner. The checkered flag remains in once again, does it? No, there we go. Jack Parker this time takes the checkered flag. They were hiding it up against the pit wall, but Jack Parker does take the checkered flag and takes the win here at Oulton Park. Peter Barrable crossed the line in second place, and on the very final lap of the race, car number 44, Jamie Moylan, sets the fastest lap to round out your podium as well, at 2 minutes 17.236. It was then Ollie Schlupp and Chris Needham. Will Gibson rounds out your top six, followed by car number 30, Andy Bird. Steve Whiteleg crossed the line to finish in 8th place, Stephen Traherne in 9th, and then car number 68, that being in the hands of Nick Bridgman. He crossed the line to round out your top 10. Robert Barrable, it all went wrong for him, didn't it? He was inside that top 5, pushing for podiums. Unfortunately, he only ended up finishing in 11th place after a mistake. The recovery drive was good, he just ran out of time. Car number 25 in the hands of Luke Simmons, he crossed the line in 12th place ahead of car number 6, that being Tyler Reid. And by way of our rookie championship fight we were keeping an eye on, we needed car number 28, Harry Marcel, to finish ahead of car number 62, Eric Bolton. Unfortunately, Harry Marcel, by the looks of it, car number 28, he finished in 20th place, Eric Bolton in 14th. So the rookie championship fight continues on. Mathematically, it's going to be a very, very big hill to climb for Eric Bolton, but never say never. The championship in the rookie class still not been decided. That was a brilliant race from the Legends Cars Championship. We see them 2 more times today. Their second race is going to be straight after the lunch break at around about 2:30, and then their third and final race of effectively the weekend, as we're only on a one-day meeting here at Oulton Park, is on a timetabled start of 5 o'clock. So we'll look forward to those races on the way. If you have been watching the Legends cars on the stream, wow, welcome to Legends Racing if you've watched them before.